Stand by, amorous, you're much too wonderful. I can't find the words to say.
Hey, can't find the words to say enough. Much, too much. Hey, not so very ordinary. You'll never be in any Webster's dictionary. I'm talking about Kim Savage. Women at work. Hey, you got it. You got it. I want to see that girl in a poodle skirt and saddle shoes. Special report, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on, I got to get my coffee. We'll put the music back on for a minute. That's right. Doobity-da, doobity-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-do-do-do-do. Wonderful. You're much, not so very, very. Oh, to be in any Webster's dictionary. Oh, no. Another awesome song from, what the heck is that? That was Louis Prima. Louis Prima, live in Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. Live in Las Vegas. Hey. Special edition. We're going to talk just a little bit about why you need to pay yourself. Why you need to pay yourself. Let's go back a little bit. 2012, Hearst v. Boozecheck, it was found that there was employee status. That was the first case. Now you have FAS. Now you have AMS coming in. This isn't going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. What happens when you throw chum in the water out in the ocean? That's just what happened yesterday. 11 people, 2.2 million. Why do you keep records? Why do you want to run a business? Why should you have something like this in your office? Why should you keep records? You never know when you're going to need them. You never know when the IRS is, hey, we want to audit you. Hello? Let's talk for just a minute of how the industry got here. Back in 2012, the courts ruled Hearst was in fact an employee. He wasn't an independent contractor. They ruled that by law. 2017, it was ruled by law. FAS. Abused and misclassified employees. $2.2 million is what's come in so far. 11 out of the 110 or 111 people, businesses that were there. Now, the 5 elements, and I got to pick on the cutie pie Kim Savage, right? To ever be in any Webster's dictionary, she is special. She is special. You bet. But Kim has always raised the issue, and I understand it. How am I an employee? I'm a business. I'm not an employee. Out of all the people that I have dealt with in the property preservation industry, Kim Savage is in the top 5 of business people. She's a very intelligent businesswoman. But she's a business. She's not a lackey. She's not some industry shill that says she supports labor and backs management. She is an independent, a true independent contractor. You might get over on her today, but trust me, you're going to burn yourself tomorrow. But in that respect, I know right now, and I can say this with all kinds of confidence, never meeting Kim, but I bet if I went to her office, or whatever she uses for an office, whether it be the back seat of her truck or a bedroom in a house, part of a den, whatever she's using for her office, I bet you I could go there and I would find immaculate record keeping for her business. Because why? She's a business. When I first started screaming education in the industry, part of my education, part of my theory is, hey, if you're going to have an industry that needs education, you got to touch the business 101. You got to give these people the tools to work with. Back 10 years ago, or it was 7 years ago, I guess it was now, I put a little package together. I called it my Business 101 package. It was a couple videos showing you how to do break-even analysis, break-even points, and it would show you, it came with some spreadsheets and stuff to put stuff together, talking about capability statements and stuff like that. And I've had a few requests for capability statements. I work cheap, folks. I can help you out. It's not that tough. We just sit down and talk for a bit, and then we put something together. But a capability statement, it kind of locks you in now, because you're putting down in writing, in black and white. You're sticking it out there for everybody to see what you do. Compliance. Compliance. Why I'm on compliance? Real quick, before we get to some numbers, real quick. Compliance. NAMFS has a compliance deal going on. And I questioned it. When I saw it, I said, does this mean your members are going to be compliant with all state laws? Now, if anybody is going to that event, whatever you can do to get me a copy or a recording to listen to them people, the minutes of it, whatever, I would really be interested in hearing what is said, specifically compliance. The rest of everything else they're saying, as far as I'm concerned, is poppycock. It's propaganda. It's a fraud fest, because they have done nothing. Under the direction of Mr. Miller, all they continue to do is double down on the mess that's in this industry. They continue to double down. That's all they're doing. When you let people like Cheap Suit Jay, who was stealing from people before he became a member and stealing after he became a member, sending pictures, posting in social media why he owed money on the crap tables in Vegas. Hello? That's NAMFS. That's the behavior they condone. That is what that member, to be a member of that organization, you got to be a thief. You got to do something scandalous. At least it seems on the surface, that's what it looks like. And the people that say nothing about the companies breaking the law, you're just as guilty. By keeping your mouth shut, you are just as guilty as the one stealing the money. It's just that simple. We've had people in the past speak out. They got shunned. They claim to have been beat up for $250,000 by members of the organization, yet they pony up their money to become a member of the organization. What is that thing about insanity, doing the same thing over, expecting a different result? Food for thought, ladies and gentlemen, food for thought. Do you pay yourself? Business 101 in the property preservation industry on this special report coming to you by Kim Savage, Women at Work Incorporated, Women to Work Incorporated, Kim Savage in the Richmond, Virginia area. Ladies and gentlemen, she will get you squared away. You got property maintenance needs, property management needs, property preservation needs. She's your gal. I'm telling you, she's sharp. She's sharp. She does good work. And if her employees don't do good work, she got a big old stick in the back of her truck. I'm teasing. But she takes no prisoners when it comes to you working for her, because it's her reputation on the line. People spend a lot of time developing reputations, business models, etc., etc. And while we're speaking of business and record keeping, let's talk about the big mistake I made on this project I'm on, because as you can see right now, this is my thought with what's going on in property preservation right now. If you're in business, protect your business. Going forward, you started seeing me post some videos, and they kind of might seem mundane. They might seem a little generic, if you will, but they're for a specific reason. One of the biggest mistakes people make in business, and I did it, I'm guilty, I got to put my hand up, I did it. Going into any kind of business arrangement with quote unquote friend, 99 times out of 100, there's never a contract written, and when something goes sideways, like has happened here, he said, she said. He said, he said. It's all, well, da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, you know what? In my case, because of what I was doing, redefining my business, reshaping the business model, steering my business down another avenue to pursue agritourism in the agriculture industry. I have been documenting everything. Fortunately, I have been documenting everything because when the issue of ownership came up, I have my documentation, do they? My documentation justifies what I'm doing. It also backs up my claims to what's going on here when we discuss and should the other party have said when certain things were put forward that they don't own the property, not their decision to make? I believe they should have. They didn't. It's immaterial at this point. After 16 months of work, the owners don't like the work I've done. Work's got to go. I got to go. Everything's got to go. So in that respect, shame on me for entering into that scenario and not following my own advice. Get a contract, because everything in the four corners, that's the law. So, what were they looking for in the lawsuit that came in yesterday at $2.2 million for the first 11? They were looking at overtime. They were looking at insurance. They were looking at tools and equipment, cell phone charges, dump fees, and mileage. That's what they were looking for, because those are all reimbursables. First person on the list, $76,000 for overtime pay. The next person, $3,500 for, or this is the same person, $75,000, $76,000 on insurance, $96,000 for mileage, $11,000 in dump fees, $2,100 in cell phone fees, $36,000 in tools and equipment. Let's see here, the next person in line, $126,000 in overtime, $141,000 in mileage, $16,000 for dump fees, $5,000 for cell phones, $23,000 in tools and equipment, $13,000 on insurance. $68,000 is the next guy for labor. $4,600 on insurance, or $4,700 on insurance. $11,000 tools and equipment. $3,000. Why is all this important, ladies and gentlemen? This is a class action lawsuit. Everybody that I've talked to, including that cutie pie that owes me a dance at the sock hop, she says she looks good in a poodle skirt. Come on, let's hold her to it. Let's get her in a poodle skirt and saddle shoes. But even she has said that I can't be an employee because I'm a business. Look at all this record keeping. But Kim Savage has also said the only ones that make money in a class action lawsuit are the attorneys. This is a different scenario. In a tobacco lawsuit, in a cancer cluster, you bought bad aspirin or something like that, a food kind of deal, a medication thing. Yeah, the lawyers are the ones that make the money. This scenario is a little different because they've asked for specific numbers. And I'm going to, one of the people in here, all they get back, all they're going to get back, because all they had record keeping on was overtime and their cell phones. They had nothing for insurance, tools, dump fees, or mileage because they didn't keep those records. So they don't get, the jury only awarded them like $11,000 total. You saw some of the other numbers. Here's one, $116,000 for mileage, $116,000 for overtime, $7,600 on insurance, $21,000 on tools and equipment, $106,000 in dump fees. I bet they cleaned a few properties that had some hazards, huh? Just a few, especially in California. Now, let's address a couple things here for just a minute before I get out of here this morning. Record keeping is very important. back in 2010, I developed some spreadsheets specifically designed for the property preservation industry. You got in at the end of the day, you inserted numbers, they calculated themselves, they did everything. You put the numbers at all your hours on the job, dump fees, hazards, everything. We broke it all down. There's a little entry for everything. You stick it in there, and it tells you how much at the end of the line. It'll tell you how much it costs you to get that property done for the day. If you're getting $600 and it comes out to $636, guess what? You lost money. If it comes out to $400, your company profited $200 for the day. Is that a good number? Probably not. But what that does is it allows you to be able to provide numbers down the road. Our spreadsheets are for the accountants are, man, they're like 27 rows long or columns long, and I don't know how many, 30 or 40 going this way up and down rows. So they're pretty intense. They cover a lot of stuff. And this is important as a business. If you're a business, it's important to keep records, not just in case something like this happens. It's important to keep records because any time IRS can knock on your door and say, hey, we're auditing you. And you got to do it. You got to do it. There's no questions. That's the law. That's the law. And speaking of law, labor wants to stand together. Here's how we do this without a union. Okay? We can belong to all the associations we want. We can belong to whatever we want. Everybody wants to say, oh, you can dress a duck any way you want. You're doing a union. You're doing a union. You're doing a union. Okay. Let's not do a union. Let's not do a union. But let's all stand for something. Let's all stand up for something. First thing you do, company comes knocking on your door, look up your Secretary of State, find out if they're licensed in your state. If a company is conducting business in your state, and I keep this in mind, if they're contracting with you, that work product does not leave the state, therefore your state is entitled to taxes on that revenue. It's the law. I don't make it up. I don't write the law. We just live with it and got to follow it. Push back on this. I'll give you an example. Let's see something right now. Let's see something right now. Here's what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We know that the company. Oh gosh, what was it? Let me see. Nevada Secretary of State here. We know that Guardian Asset Management is got the. So we're going to find out right now. Okay. The business entity search. Go to your Secretary of State business entity search. And punch in the name of the company. Let's see. Okay. GUARDIANASET Management. Guardian Asset Management, since they have the HUD contract. And let's see what comes up. Whoa! We have a Guardian Asset Management revoked. Guardian Asset Management Incorporated permanent. Well, we're going to have to click on each one of these to find out where they were. There are National Asset Management Services. They have da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That is just a Nevada company. So let's go to the next one in line. I don't think they are licensed in Nevada. That company is out of Irvine, California. The company we're looking for is actually out of Pennsylvania, if I remember correctly. They're not. They're not. We do not see any licensing for guardian asset management. So, what do? If guardian asset management is conducting business here in Nevada, ask them for their license. You have to be compliant. You have to have a license. They make you go get a business license. Why don't they have a business license? How are they going to force you to be compliant when they're not? That's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. That is how labor pushes back. That is how labor pushes back. I don't know that guardian asset management is big enough to handle all the insurance needs and everything crossing all the state lines. Why do you think they don't do it? Why do you think these companies are not licensed and they're cheating? Why do you think Buckzek got a 6-figure fine for no business license? Oops, forgot about that, huh? Forgot about that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's important you keep records just for this particular scenario. Companies that have not kept records are not going to be reimbursed. They're not going to be able to participate in lawsuits that are coming up. We kept very good records. If you need some help keeping records, folks, I can help you out. Give me a call. Wow, I just spilled coffee all over myself. Going to be one of those days, folks. Going to be one of those days. Hey, it's about time to get out of here. What I want to say, though, ladies and gentlemen, it's critically important that you keep records for your business. It's your business. You need to protect your business. And that's what is going on right now. And as I said, with these videos, with everything I'm doing, it's a form of documentation that protects me. It shows the world what's going on. And hopefully, you guys can learn something from what I'm doing here and make it, like I said, a business one-on-one little thing, and we can learn a thing or two. Again, this special report was basically to touch on the numbers and explain why it's important to keep business records. And of course, in this particular scenario of class action lawsuit, not everybody is getting the same amount of money. It's a little bit different than a tobacco lawsuit, than a cancer cluster type, or some of these medical malpractice lawsuits. Did you get a mesh implant? Did it go bad? Or is your gut leaking? Yeah, those the lawyers make the money on. This is a little different scenario because this is companies recuperating their losses. This is companies, and it's going to be bad for people like FAS, AMS, MCS. I'm telling you right now, it's just a matter of time before everybody comes knocking at the doors of these companies and shut them down. And why Mr. Miller has done nothing to address this issue within the organization, to me, is unconscionable. And perhaps NAMFS needs to look for new leadership. And I'm talking from the board of directors up. New leadership. And perhaps members of labor and some of you companies that are not stealing from labor need to step up and pull your pants up and say something. Get some guts and say, hey, this is wrong. You can't do this. I'm not going to be a member. All you people that are members of this organization, under the nepotism rule you guys got going on, what happens when everything falls apart? What happens when everything falls apart? Where are you going to be? Again, I'm going to call you guys out. Eric Miller, Brian Mingham, Tony Newman, you're the chairman of this other organization, International Association of Field Service Technicians. You got to start talking about this employee independent contractor issue. You got to come to the table. Comment down below. Comments down below. Hey, make a fake name up if you want. Comments down below. Get a conversation started. That's what has to be done, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a conversation started. Let's start figuring out how to get in front of this issue. P.S. A uniform A uniform QC policy across the table. Could be. Could be. Gives you the opportunity to negotiate, makes you a business person. Takes the heat off of them. In my humble opinion, that instituting that policy, and perhaps, just perhaps, you as a business need to start your own policies. If you need assistance, give us a call. But if you have your own policies, and maybe if labor starts doing that, say, hey, look, no, this is how we are going to do it. We're a business. You don't get to tell me how to do this part. This is my part. Maybe that's a key. Maybe that's a solution. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, throwing stuff in the air. Comments down below. If you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the station, ladies and gentlemen. If you can help, hit the link to the website. Give us a donation. We can definitely use it because we got some serious stuff going on. Trying to get some stuff put together here. As I said, project's been canceled. We'll have a GMO. I'm getting ready to go out and do a GMO gardening deal here in just a second. I got a couple things going on this morning. Going to be crazy. But, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to employee, independent contractor in the property preservation industry, if you are an order mill and you're at the bottom of the rung, start protecting yourself. I don't know how to stress it. Companies like M&M, they're the ones that are going to take the biggest hit because even though this guy is a second-tier organization, he's always been good. Juan has always taken care of everybody. He's always gone out of his way. Juan has even contacted me and said, hey, we're thinking about doing business with this company. What do you got on him? He protects his company. He protects his business. He doesn't want to do business with bad people. If they're bad on the backside, it's going to make him look bad. That's the kind of companies that are going to get hurt here because he's kind of facilitating. He's in the middle. Robert Klein probably got the money to deal with things. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. But he's the one that's him and Cypress got the most to lose. We're going to see the hit AMS takes coming up here soon, folks. I don't know. Thumbs up if you like what you hear. Subscribe to the station. We love it. Give a donation if you can. Let's have a great day. Let's all be safe out there.